Three people dead. Sadly, that is a quiet day in Iraq. So why is this such a big story? Well, the answer may lie in what happens next. After 9/11, America launched attacks on Afghanistan and also on Iraq, who had nothing whatsoever to do with 9/11. So many lives lost. What will President Obama's response be compared to President George W. Bush's? Well, joining us now live from Dunedin is Professor Robert Patman. I think I'm saying professors and presidents, but you know what I mean, Robert, and I hope everyone else does, based at the University of Otago, International Relations.
Good evening, John.
Hi, lovely to have you on the show as always, Robert.
Thank you.
Obama, obviously his response depends entirely on whether this is domestic or foreign terrorism, but boy, this paints him into a corner in some respects, doesn't it?
Well, people are watching his words very carefully, and I think President Obama, in his first public statement since the incident in Boston, this what appears to be an act of terror in Boston, has been very careful to choose his words. He was very cautious. He declined to use the word terrorism, but he made it quite clear in a very deliberate way that those responsible will be held fully account, and as he put it, the full weight of justice will be brought against those responsible.
If we look back on the response to 9/11, everything from Guantanamo Bay to the Patriot Act to Iraq, who had nothing to do with 9/11, as everyone knows, to Afghanistan, will America be more measured now if this is indeed an act of foreign terrorism, or is there huge domestic pressure on Obama to respond very hard?
Well, I think there's domestic pressure, but I think Mr. Obama has made the point that by taking a more measured approach to the challenge of international terrorism in his first term, he argued that he was able to achieve what his predecessor wasn't able to achieve, which was to basically neutralise Osama bin Laden. Of course, the al-Qaeda organisation has been threatening retaliation for some time, but as one of your previous speakers said, it's just too early to know whether it's a domestic source of terrorism, international source of terrorism, or a crossover sort. I mean, the FBI was saying that they thought it might be a homegrown group of American radicals influenced by al-Qaeda.
If it has no al-Qaeda influence at all, no Taliban influence at all, and if it is truly domestic, who are the sorts of people within American society who might do something like this? And if we go back to, you know, the response to Waco, the bombing of the FBI building, we get some insight into that. Are there people such as this in American life?
Well, there are extreme right-wing groups which believe the Obama government represent big government, which encroach on the liberties and the individual rights of American citizens. One group today that was mooted, I haven't seen any subsequent reference to it, was that the Aryan Liberation Front initially apparently claimed responsibility for this, but there's been no subsequent confirmation of that. It could be one of a number of groups, actually, John. There are also people who feel very strongly on the extreme right about Obama's attempt to impose some form of gun control.
This would be a hell of a
perverse
way of responding to that, wouldn't it? Thank you. Professor Robert Patman, it's always good to have you on the show. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Robert Patman from Otago University.